Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let me know where you're joining in from. Yes, this is a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Come on in. You are welcome to come right on in. You can just share and let someone know. So glad you're here this morning. I see you're logging in from Ackworth, Georgia, Buffalo, New York. Let's see, Tulsa, Oklahoma, from Denmark, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, from Long Beach, California, from Seattle. Good morning from Mississippi, from Queens, Greensboro, North Carolina, Boise, Idaho. Happy Thursday. Thankful Thursday. I love that. Yes. We are thankful over here. Yes, we are. Good morning to Chicago. Good morning. Vancouver, Canada. Washington, D.C. Los Angeles, California. Wilmington, North Carolina. Oh, what a blessing to be able to connect and to use this technology to experience the community that is here this morning. We're so grateful for you guys. Thankful Thursday. Some of you have been just a part of this ever since 2020. So thankful for you. Good morning. Ellsworth, Maine. I see some logging on from High Point, North Carolina, Conyers, Georgia, Fayetteville, Georgia, Stone Mountain, Georgia, South Africa. Looking forward to coming there in a few months. We have, let's see, more from South Africa. Wonderful. Jonesboro, Georgia. Let us know where you're logging in from. Clermont, Florida. Richmond, Virginia. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Cape Town, South Africa. Fort Worth, Texas. Rayford, North Carolina. New York City, New York. Durban, South Africa. Johannesburg. Nebraska, St. Louis. Denver. Carrollton, Georgia. Port St. Lucie, Florida. Bremerton, Washington. Tampa. Yonkers, New York. London. Bronx. Look at there. This is a Thankful Thursday in Albany, in Marietta. Let's see, California. Wow. Jackson, Mississippi. Webb City, Missouri. Lawrenceville, Georgia. All right, we see you from California, more from Lawrenceville. Denmark. Las Vegas, Barbados. Yak, New York. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but hey, we're grateful. Snellville, Tequila. So many people here this morning from all over, far and wide, and we're just grateful. We're going to talk a little bit this morning about the awakening. I don't know about you, but it seems like 2026 has just started with a boom. I mean, so much is happening already, and we're just 22 days into 2026. And so I just want to share some things, and I just want to encourage you in your personal relationship with God, your personal relationship with yourself. as it relates to just staying in a place where He wants you to be, where you can receive the clarity, the vision, and to the purpose that He has for your life. And so that's what we want to spend some time talking about. Just coming to ourselves, coming alive to ourselves, coming alive to the things of God. Many times, Creflo's been sharing lately about the branch and the vine, and how the vine has to stay connected. And so as a result, He's in us, we're in Him. If we abide in Him and all those things, that we can be the fullness of what He's created us to be. So just grateful, just thankful, appreciate, and don't take it for granted for you just logging on and making this a part of your morning routine. It's something that we hope and pray has been a blessing to your life, and you're getting what you need from these daily confessions, and is strengthening you as a person, as a Christian, as a believer, as a follower of Christ. It's enabling you to be all that you feel like God is destined and purpose for your life. And so that's what it's really all about, is that extra nudge, that extra burst of inspiration, so we can be productive and be ambassadors and represent Him in the earth. So that's why we're so grateful for you guys. And so we're going to jump right into making a short confession, affirmations. We believe in the power of the tongue. We really, really do. These words that we release are powerful, and they go into the universe and they rearrange, they change things, they accelerate, they reverse. Our words today are that which distinguish us from all of creation, is the fact that we are speaking spirits. And as a result of us speaking and releasing the life of God out of our tongues, that we're able to cause things to become in alignment with the plan of God and the purpose of God. And so every day and each time that we come together, that's why we have corporate prayer. That's why we make declarations. It's because we believe in the power of the spoken word. So you can say this: I am everything that God says I am, not what my past says I am, not what other people say I am, but what God says I am. I accept it right now. I rest in it right now. And I declare that all is well with me. I am loved. I am forgiven. I am righteous. I am one in Christ. I am complete in Christ. I am seated with Christ. I am the mirrored image of God. I am highly favored by God. I am blessed by God. I declare that as He is, so am I in this world. I am redeemed. I have wisdom now. I am sanctified now. And I am holy now. He loves me. You have to tell yourself, He loves me with an everlasting, unending, unconditional love. And I believe the love that God has for me today. So I encourage you to rest in that, rest in the fact that you are healed, whole, prosperous, generous, talented, equipped, competent, confident, everything that He's called you to be. So you just have to rest in that and just know that it's already done, that is a finished work, and that it is a completed work. And so today, again, we want to thank you for being with us, part of the Grace Gang, and just pursuing a um, close and intimate relationship with God. And so I want to spend some time talking about coming to ourselves, which I call is an awakening. You know, I'm reminded of the prodigal son, that it took him going out and experiencing all the things that he experienced in order for him to have an awakening. And I just pray that in this season of your life, that there would be things that you would become awakened to. Because if not, we can easily just kind of go through the same routine that maybe we had in 2025 or 2024. Those same patterns, dealing with the same trauma, the same triggers, having the same way of life, and never really making a decision to awaken to the true you and the you that God has created from the foundations of the world. The you that is made in His image and in His likeness, the you that is whole, the you that He is wanting to form and to shape and make after His own hand. I was telling our church a few weeks ago that I had gone to a pottery class, and I went and I got so much out of it after I left, because I began to think about how God is the potter and we are the clay. And sometimes it's going to require us just resting on the potter's wheel and knowing that however He shapes us, however He positions us, He may stretch us in certain ways, in certain positions. It's a matter of really knowing that He has a plan and He has a purpose for us. And so it is, you know, we have to be willing to trust Him with these areas of our lives. We have to recognize that He wants us in the center of His will. You know, the thing that I learned in this class was that the clay has to be in the center of the wheel. It can't be off-sided. It can't be, you know, too much in the front. The wheel has to be clean. You can't just plop the clay on top of a dirty wheel, because it affects the overall outcome in the shaping and in the process. And so it is in our lives in 2026, that God is wanting to mold us, and He wants to awaken us to things and cause us to be formed in His image and in His likeness. But it requires us resting in Him, resting in His hand, knowing that He's got a masterpiece, and that as a result of that masterpiece, it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. He's going to, you know, push us. He's going to press on us. He's going to maybe even poke a little bit, you know. These are things that have to be done so that we can create and walk in this pathway that He desires for us. I think so many times as a believer, we're looking for everything to just be convenient and comfortable. And, you know, there are so many things that are going to come by us going through tests and trials and tribulations and being able to come out on the other side and say, wow, I went through that. And as a result of going through that, I have a new understanding that I never thought that I would have. And so it was with the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15, verse, um, I think it's chapter 15, verse 11. I'm going to read a little bit of this from the King James and from the Amplified. It says that verse 11, I'm sure you probably heard of this, but for those who may haven't, I'll read a little bit of it. He had two sons. A younger of them said to his father, "Give me the part of the property that falls to me." And he divided the estate between them. And not many days after that, the younger son gathered up all that he had and journeyed into a distant country, and there he wasted his fortune in reckless and loose from restraint living. I'm reading from the Amplified. So the younger son got all his belongings. He said, "You know what? I had enough of this. I want to go. I want to go out. Give me my belongings, whatever I have, my estate." Obviously, he had resources, he had materials, he had possessions. He told his father, "Give me all my stuff." And he gathered it up and he went to a distant country and wasted, Bible says in verse 13, his fortune in reckless and loose from restraint living. So I mean, he was out there doing whatever he wanted to do, however whenever he wanted to do it, however he wanted to do it. I'm telling you, we can relate to that. I know I can, and many of you as well before you came into the things of God, and maybe some of you even in this state that you're in now, just kind of at a place where you just want to do the most that you can in the time that you have to do it. And then it says in verse 14, and when he had spent all that he had a mighty famine come upon him, and he began to fall behind and be in want. So he went and glued himself upon one of the citizens of that country who went into the fields to feed the hogs. And he would gladly have fed on him and filled his belly with the pods that the hogs were eating, but they could not satisfy his hunger, and nobody gave him anything better. So, he had all that he needed when he was with his father. He had all that he could want, um, just an estate, pretty much everything at his disposal, people at his disposal, probably could purchase or ask for whatever he didn't have, but yet he decided that he wanted to go waste it all and decide to um, do what he wanted to do. And so it says in verse 16 that when he was out there and with the pigs and living beneath his privileges, living beneath what he knew he should be doing, just had to come to an end of himself. It was then that he had an awakening. And so I'm so thankful that God is so patient with us. I don't know about you, because I can think of times when I just wanted to believe what I wanted to believe, wanted to do what I wanted to do, live like I wanted to live, make decisions that I knew weren't in my best interest, and just, as they say, being grown. And God lets us do, He respects our decision, He respects our choice. And He says, you know what? You get to make those decisions. And hey, He's a gentle, loving Father. And whatever it is that we choose, He says, you know what? The power of choice is in your hand. He's made us free will agents. And so we can decide and we can choose. And so there was There was this awakening that had to happen with the prodigal son here in verse um, 17. He says, then when he came to himself, and so that's what I'm believing, that there will be an awakening to belonging in your life, awakening to the image of God in your life, awakening to what he has called you to be, awakening to the purpose that he has for your life, that you belong to him. I belong to God. I belong in his hands. I belong as part of his family. He is mine. I'm his. He's my father. I'm his sheep. I'm his child. I'm his daughter. I hear his voice. And so the prodigal son in verse 17, it says, then after all the things that he went through out there with the animals, reckless, loose, riotous living, when he had done all of that, sometimes, it requires getting out there like the prodigal son did in order for him to come to himself. He had to come to himself before he could ever come home. He didn't change direction because he was afraid. He changed because he remembered who he was. Do you remember? Do you know who you are today? Is there an awakening to what's on the inside of you, to the purpose, to the vision of God for your life? Do you recognize who you belong to and the family that you're a part of? Because it wasn't the fear, the shame, the condemnation, the judgment that caused the prodigal son to awaken. It wasn't any of that. I'm sure people probably tried to talk him out of leaving when he decided to leave. But it was when he came to himself and he says, wait a minute, enough is enough. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I thinking that this is okay? So he changed because he remembered who he was. So awakening begins with awareness, not self condemnation. Awakening begins with self awareness, not self condemnation. And so he says here in verse 17, then when he came to himself, he said, how many servants of my father have enough food and even food to spare? But I am perishing, dying here of hunger, dying here of hunger. And so, he understood that I'm starving, I'm out here dying, malnutrition, living like a pauper. And the people who are with my father and living under his roof have more than me. And so you have to ask yourself today, how long am I going to put up with the trauma in my life and allow it to govern my life? How long am I going to allow fear, worry, disappointment, discouragement? How long am I going to allow all these things to live in me and govern the decisions that I make? Because It will stay there as long as we tolerate it and as long as we think that it's okay. But once the light bulb comes on and we come alive to wait a minute, hey, I'm a child of God. I belong to Him. I'm made in His image, I'm made in His likeness. He wants to do me good. I'm the redeemed. I am provided for. I have everything that I need. I'm in His hand. I'm His masterpiece. I may not be exactly where I want to be, but I know I'm on the path. I'm going somewhere. Then you can trust and stay on the potter's wheel and just continue to allow Him patiently to shape you and to conform you and make you into what He's destined your life to be. And so there's an awakening today that is available for you, an awakening to the image of God and to the fact that you belong to Him. This is time to awaken to the belonging that comes from being in relationship with the Almighty God and knowing without any shadow of a doubt that I know where I belong. I know where my peace is. I know where my rest is. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I found my family. I found my connection. I found my community, and I'm aware of it. And so don't let anything, because the enemy's going to try to cause you to believe lies. That's what he does. Ephesians 6:11 talks about all the strategies, the wiles of the enemy, that he wants you to believe the lies, that you don't belong. They don't love you. God doesn't love you. There is no purpose for your life. There's no plan for your life. And as a result, you should go out and just be reckless and live riotously in rebellion and all those things. But I want you to remind yourself today of who you are and to know without any shadow of a doubt and confident of that purpose and that plan for your life. And then as a result, there'll be things that'll come as a result of your alignment with Him. And you know what? That's what it's all about. And so I pray that today you were encouraged and that you have some inspiration and information. And go back and read Luke chapter 15. Read that chapter and look at your own life and ask the Lord to help you to become awakened and aware to things that maybe have been lying dormant in your life. We love you so very, very much and so grateful. Don't take you for being a part of this community for granted. Continue to log on tomorrow, every day. And I just believe that the best is yet to come. We want to remind you of upcoming important events that are taking place. March, we're so excited about our women's gathering. It's March the 19th and the 20th. You can scan the QR code to register, or you can text Radical to 51555. Come on, ladies. I know many of you have logged on from Jonesboro, Snellville, and Atlanta, Fayetteville, all over within driving distance. Join us. I believe this is going to be a wonderful time of worship, awakening to our purpose as women, awakening to the love of God, to the power of God, to who we are, no longer wearing the cape, trying to be, something, numbing ourselves to situations and circumstances and to our emotions, but just trusting that the things that He has will take place. And so we have wonderful speakers, Octavia Roberts, Crystalline McNair, Alyssa Morrell, Sade Orr, Creflo and I are going to be there. Um, Worshiping with Kiera Shear Kelly, as well as Jordan G. Welch. And so you can go out to my website, taffydollar.org, and get more information in order to register and get all the details of what's at what time. So thank you. And we love you so much. Enjoy your day. Have a great evening. And we look forward to seeing you again. God bless.